Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Maria, and you're listening to the Energy of Money podcast. We've all had a challenging year, haven't we? I would like to talk about something you've heard me mention in the past, but I'd like to pinpoint it in this podcast today. And it has to do with finding the good in life. And it may be true that there is always some good just waiting for you to find it. I have a story that I want to read to you that illustrates what we're looking at today. And before saying the story, I've discovered that the good in life is linked to our expectations that it exists. Because when we expect the good to be there, our mind automatically starts looking for it. You know how it is when we expect the opposite, when we expect difficulties, the mind automatically looks for them, yes? Well, it's the same with if we expect the good, our mind automatically starts looking for them, for the good. And I want to read to you exactly what I mean about definition of good. It's from the dictionary. It's being of benefit to someone or something, providing enjoyment, satisfaction, comfort, and ease. So the story I want to read to you talks about that. Here goes. There's a tired young man, and he's walking along the river. It's a dark day, and he's alone. This is right around Christmas. He's just moved away from his family and friends to get a new job. So he's walking along and feeling lonely. He kicks a clod of dirt, and he sees this pot, and he picks it up, and he dusts some of it off, and it says, "Rub this, make a wish, and," then it goes ... But he's too tired to read the rest of what it says. He doesn't even want to rub off the dirt from that part. So he just rubs the part that he sees, and all of a sudden, he sees a genie. You know the story. This big, exotic-looking man comes up, and he says, "Your wish is my command, sir." Now the guy looks at him, and he's a little bit in shock, but he considers this, and, he says to himself, "Should I ask for an exotic trip someplace? Maybe another car?" He says, "Not even more money right now because I'm doing pretty well. But what I want is to feel better." So he turns to the genie and he says, fine, this is what he says. "I want the best, happiest Christmas possible. I'm lonely. I'm tired. It's been a challenging year at this job. Yes, I want a wonderful time despite being away from my family and friends." There's a pause. And the genie kind of looks at him in silence, doesn't say anything. And after a while, it just goes back into his bottle. And the man says, "Wonderful." Says, "Let's see what happens now." And as he's driving away, he starts feeling better. He gets into his car and he puts the pot right next to him on the seat, drives away. He's already feeling this little glow in his heart. Along the way, on his way home, he sees a car stopped, and this woman is there, and, she she needs to have her tire changed, and she's been waiting 45 minutes for a truck to come and help her. But he stops and he says, "Look, let me help you." And he changes the tire very quickly. She's overjoyed. And when he looks at her, he starts feeling better, even better. She gives him some sweet oranges. She's taking a bunch of them to her grandmother, but she gives some to him and he drives away feeling pretty good. So the following day, he passes by a Christmas tree that's in the lobby of the place where he works, and there's these little cards. You've seen them before, haven't you? That list, a gift for some kid who ordinarily wouldn't want them or have excuse me, wouldn't have them even though they want them, and he takes a car, and he buys a little train set for a 9-year-old and puts it in the basket next to the tree. He feels even better. You know, the feeling of warmth that he's having brings to mind to him to have a call with his brother on Christmas Eve. It's 3 days before Christmas, and he arranges to have a call on Zoom, and he and his brother have this wonderful time, including chatting about old Christmases, like the time Uncle Jake backed his truck into display, a Christmas display, and how funny that was, even though everybody had to clean it up. But he gets out of that feeling even better. He happens to see an ad in a paper that talks about serving food to the unhoused on Christmas Day. And feeling this warmth, he starts, he says, "Okay, I'm gonna take myself there." He signs up for it, he does, and he serves desserts. He's part of the crew, and all along, they laugh and they joke. He's feeling fabulous. He remembers that he wants to send an extra present to his mom and dad. They happen to love pears, and so he's gonna send them a New Year's gift of pears. He's already sent them a Christmas gift, but he says, "This stuff really works." Around December 27th, he sees that old pot. "Ah, yeah." He says, "I'll rub it again." And he does. The genie appears. He says, "Your wish is my command." And he says to the genie, "Well, you've already done this great job. I mean, I said I wanted a happy, good Christmas, and look at all the things that you've found for me to do and to share, and gosh, if it weren't for you, I don't know if I would have had such a good Christmas." The genie says, "Young sir, I didn't do that." He said, "If you were to scrape away the rest on that pot, it says, before you ask the genie for anything, say the following words, 'I command you to do this for me.'" He said, "At that point, I'm commanded. I must do what you ask, but up until now, I've done nothing." And the man, of course, is astounded. The genie says, "And with this pot, you only get one wish. The question is, what do we think the man wishes for next?" Out of feeling great. Now, we'll never know, but the question is it possible that what we expect will happen begins to happen? Is it just possible? And, you know, it really is possible that wherever I focus my mind and I'm interested in focusing there, my brain will give me evidence for. The question is for you. What are you willing to focus on? Now, I know this podcast is happening right around the holiday season, but it could be any time of year that we'd be looking at, couldn't it? Any time of year. And the question is, what might you be interested in focusing upon this year? How about being willing to focus on the good in my life? Now, you probably heard me in the past that being willing is very, very powerful. You can be willing to do something you don't want to do. You could be willing to do something that you're afraid of doing. You can be willing to do something that you don't even think is going to happen. Why? Because being willing comes from a different energy source than our regular emotions. If I were to look at all the times in my life when I haven't wanted to do something and I listened to that and didn't do it, or I didn't think I could do something and I listened to that and I didn't do it. If I had gone down those pathways, I wouldn't be here today with the luxury as well as the wonderful ability to be speaking to you on the Energy of Money podcast. It's only when I began to activate this power that we all possess of being willing that the real transformations began to happen in my own life. You might be asking, well, what does that have to do with me, Dr. Maria? Well, let's look at it this way. What if you were willing to take out a 3x5 card and write the words, I am willing to find some good this holiday season? And you were to put that where your brain can see it every day, maybe 5 or 6 times a day. Is it possible that just seeing that, I'm willing to find the good, that you might actually begin to find it waiting for you all this time? I bet it would. Now, if you're feeling too grinchy to even consider this, I want to refer you to a 5-minute YouTube recording from Brother David Stendelrast on gratefulness. Brother David Stendelrast on gratefulness in the YouTube recordings. I promise you that if you listen to it once, or sometimes you got to listen to it twice, at the end of that period of time, I mean, it's 5 minutes each time, so it's a total of 10 minutes. I dare you not to have a smile on your face, not being willing to do something that you might not ordinarily have done. Hmm? So do that. Find what's just there waiting for you. And there's a gem for us to consider with all this. Research has shown that our feelings follow our actions. Feeling follows action. That we don't look to feel just right before we take the action. We become willing to take an action. Have you found things that you know would be good if you were to do them? And, up until now, you may have said, "Oh, I don't have time. I'm too stressed. I'm too," how we get. What if you were willing to have that card in front of you and be willing to find the good? So you do something good for someone else, you feel happier, you feel better about yourself, and because of that, your brain is reinforced to look for the next good thing you can do. Because, you know, doing good, and I'm going to read this, when you do that, you will see, according to the definition that I just gave you a little earlier, that your resulting experience will be one of being of benefit of somewhat to someone or something, providing enjoyment, satisfaction, comfort, and ease. In other words, once you do that for someone else, you'll automatically start feeling that for yourself. So it's really a four-step process that goes around in a circle, and I'll read it to you. It's a summary. Step 1, you're willing to look for the good around you because you have that card. Step 2, you automatically start feeling better because you're willing. Come on, try it out. And if you don't feel better automatically, watch Brother David Steindl-Rast again. Come on. Sometimes we need to melt those little icicles around our heart. You know what I'm talking about? Step 3, feeling better, you discover ways to see and do something good for someone else. As a result, you feel even better and automatically initiate step 1 again, which is being willing to look for the good around you because you have that card there where you're focusing your brain. Isn't that a wonderful circle to initiate in your life? One where you are willing to see the good. You are willing to expect the good around you. How about that? And as a result of expecting the good, you see the good. And seeing the good, because you're feeling so good, you do it, which makes you feel even better. I would prefer that kind of cycle to some of the other ones that I've been experiencing this year. Because, you know, when we actually feel better about ourselves and what's happening around us in our life, it frees us up to take care of others. It frees us up to see, okay, what's my part in making the world a safer space for everyone? You begin to see it. And if you can see the littlest piece and do it, you're on this road of satisfaction and fulfillment. And that, my friends, is what I call true success, wouldn't you? So until our next time together, I'm taking the week off between Christmas and New Year's. So until the next time together, this is Dr. Maria saying, Have the best holiday season ever. Take care. See you again. Bye bye for now.